Okay, perfect. There we go. So let's get started. So thanks again for joining us for another session in our online study webinar series. We do a couple of these throughout the year based on different degree programs. This one, of course, we're focusing on our health systems management program. My name is Karen Palmer. I'm the online admissions counselor here at RIT. We do want to especially welcome our friends from Rochester Regional Health today, who are invited to join us. If you are here and you are work at RRH, can you raise your hand just so we can see who's with us this morning or this afternoon? Many of you may know that RIT has a strong relationship with Rochester Regional Health, so we're always excited to partner up and talk about our degree programs with you. All right, great. So thanks again for being part of this session. Some of you may already be admitted, planning for your enrollment in the upcoming term. Some of you might just be starting out your application process and beginning to explore RIT. So either way, we're here to answer all the questions that you have and help guide you in your next steps. There is a question and answer box at the bottom of the screen, so feel free to type in any questions as we go. Hopefully my slide's advancing. So again, as I mentioned, I'm Karen Palmer, online admissions counselor. I can help with anything from application requirements, technical issues, logging in to create your account, deadlines, how to put together a strong application. I can also connect you with Dr. Carla Stebbins, who's here with us today. She's co-hosting with me. She's the graduate program director of the program. Carla, do you want to say hello?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. And we also have a student with us today who's nearly finishing up this master's degree, Alicia. Alicia, do you want to say hello and give a little bit about your background?
Hi, everyone. I am a full-time student at RIT right now. I will be done in December, completed, and I am currently a stay-at-home mother. I've never been in healthcare before, and this has given me the opportunity to learn so much about healthcare.
Perfect, thank you. And if anyone has any specific questions about what it's like to be a student in the program and the online platform and balancing everything between family and work and studies, feel free to address Alicia directly in your questions. So here's today's agenda, just a short summary of what we're going to be talking about. And then again, plenty of time for questions and answers at the end. So in general, even though you're an online learner, we like to show you our university from a bigger picture as a whole, just so you know about where our foundation is. So we're located in central New York State. We're about 5 miles outside of downtown Rochester on a 1,300-acre campus. We've been founded in 1829, so obviously very old history of great educational programs. We've evolved a ton over time. Our campus is full of innovation, creativity. We have 11 different colleges on campus: business, engineering, technology courses, obviously health sciences, computing. You name it, we've got it. It's multidisciplinary. A lot of our students find that they can study across industry, across disciplines. There's a lot of collaboration going on campus. It's just a really exciting place to be. So if you're ever in the area, we encourage you to stop by, check out our facilities. A lot of the resources you have as an online student are available to you as an on-campus student. So please come and take advantage if you're able. Our graduate student community has over 3,000 students across more than 80 grad programs. Half of those students are international, 30% are studying part-time, and we really celebrate our diversity here. So let's see, moving on to specifically to RIT Online. Again, long history here. We actually have over 40 years experience in delivering distance education. We started out by using VHS videotapes in the mail in the late 70s. Obviously, we've come a long way since then. Always evolving, making sure that our platform is up to date, a lot of different authentic learning experiences to make sure your classroom is personalized and you have that connection with your faculty and your fellow students that Alicia and Carla will be talking about in a little bit. For our students, we do feel learning is a social experience. Our faculty create learning communities with high social accountability and support. There are on-campus immersions and in-person portions of this degree as well that we'll be talking about that really adds to your valuable experience in the degree. So Dr. Stebbins, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about both the Health Systems Management Masters and then also our Advanced Certificate or Graduate Certificate in Healthcare Finance. Go ahead.
Great. All right. Thank you, Karen. And everyone can hear me?
Yep, you sound good.
Okay, awesome. So in about 2018, the program faculty completed a comprehensive review of the curriculum and the program design, and launched a brand new program in the fall of 2019. So we're just starting our third year. We've completed 2 years so far. So we worked with the alumni board, which includes and our advisory board, which includes area leaders in healthcare in the Rochester area and Northeast and even beyond that. So, and we wanted to make sure it was a very responsive program to demands placed on administrators and leaders in healthcare today. The program's also been aligned to the requirements of an accreditor called the Commission on Accreditation for Healthcare Management Education, or CAME for short. Our site visit is scheduled for later this month, and so hopefully by the beginning of the year, early spring, we should know if we will be a CAME accredited program. There's about 114 accredited programs in the United States and Canada, and we will be one of them and the only one in the Rochester area once we achieve that. So we've been working very hard on that. Other things to keep in mind is that this is a competency-based program. So we've created a competency model of what it takes to be successful as a healthcare leader. We created that first and then worked it backwards into designing the curriculum. So we started with the end in mind, and then all the courses are designed to support student achievement on that competency model. The program works or is kind of structured to work with people or with students that have experience either just in life or in healthcare or in the workplace in general. So we build on what you already know, which is kind of fun. It brings a lot of meaning to what you're learning. It's a 39 credit hour curriculum. So we try to keep the number of credit hours down to keep the cost down also, and then the time to complete down. It's a perfect blend, in my opinion, and you can talk to Alicia about it, of online and on campus. So 10 of the 13 classes are online. You do have one synchronous or live session per course, at least one. Sometimes you have more than one. And then there's 3 courses where you're actually in a certain place at a certain time. So 10 online, 3 are on face-to-face. So, and again, we really also focus on practice-based. So we don't want things to be terribly theoretical and, kind of out there, never land. We want to pull things down to a practice base. Our goal is that you learn something in class one day and you're able to apply it the very next. And we hear consistently from our students that, they had lots of aha moments the next day in meetings and their ability to participate in discussions because they understand things better. So again, it's designed for today's learner. We admit students year round. So I think there's technically 7 start dates. So you can pretty much start whenever you apply and want to start. We view applications using kind of a holistic rubric. So there's about 3 different things that we equally weight when we review applications. One is your prior academic experience. So we're looking at your transcripts, what the degree is, what school you went to. We're also looking at your experience. So workplace, outside of the workplace, volunteer experience, all of that counts. And then we look at your personal statement or the statement admissions essay that you submit, along with your letters of recommendation. So we look at all of those and we have weights for each one, and we make decisions based on that. For the most part, we have a much higher approval rate or admission rate, acceptance rate, whatever the rate's called. So it's not anything that you need to worry about as far. If you have any questions about whether you can or should, you can always get in touch with me. I'm happy to meet with you one-on-one. And yeah, you can flex your enrollment. So you can go full-time, part-time, you can bounce back and forth however you want. The majority of our students are part-time. About 70% are part-time. So they'll take pretty much one class every session. And most of them finish in 2 years or less. So, or about 2 years. And then we do have a pretty decent sized group that goes through full-time. Alicia's one. There's situations where it just makes sense to go through full time. And I'll let her share her story with you in a bit. As the program director, I'm also the academic advisor. So I work one-on-one with you throughout the whole program. So if you ever have questions, concerns, anything, you can reach out to me. I think I'm pretty easy to get a hold of, and more than happy to speak with students. So
yeah, I was just going to add, Carla,
Yeah.
your involvement with prospective students even before the application is submitted is exceptional. So if you're, if you're still in the process of trying to decide if this is a good fit for you, I think that's one of the key highlights of this program's admission process is how involved you can be with myself, with Carla, even with current students, just to make sure this is what you're looking for. We've had conversations with students, and sometimes RIT is not the best place for them.
Yeah.
But having the conversation, we can guide even other options. Of course, we'd love you to be here with us, but if it's not a good fit, we don't want to talk you into it.
No, it's we're all about fit, just like, in many situations, it's about fit. So I think our faculty are really special, or I'm sorry, did you advance this?
I did. Can you see it? Are we on faculty?
Yeah, okay. So I think our faculty are worth talking about just quickly. Everyone that teaches in this program has a combination of the academic preparation to be able to teach, and then they have real world experience. So they really provide a really unique perspective at how they teach. So it's not just theory, they kind of pull it down to practice. They give a lot of context to how they teach. So they'll talk about something and then they'll give you an example of how it's actually used in the workplace. So it really helps students to know when and how to use what they're learning about. And because we're working towards this accreditation and hopefully we'll achieve it soon, we're all invested in continuous improvement. So the faculty spend many, many hours in meetings together and with me, working to constantly improve courses and their teaching skills. So we never stop. We're always working to improve. So every course I've taught has benefited from student impact and student comment. So I constantly am changing and improving things based on student feedback. So and we, I think, are very student focused, very learner centered. You get a lot of timely access to materials. I think response times are that our policy is 48 hours or less, but usually it was, I think in most cases, it's within hours. And we really work hard to give individualized feedback to each student. So our goal is to advance each student, and each student comes to us with unique career goals. So we're trying to help them advance in towards those goals.
So do you want to talk a little bit about your experience and your connectivity with faculty and your advisor, the support you're getting, how accessible they are, things like that?
Yeah, I can. You mentioned how Carla is very involved even before you start the program, and I must agree with that because when I initially signed up, or when I initially looked into it, my first point of contact was Carla. And sometimes I wondered if she was tired to hear from me because I would email her all the time because I always had questions. And one of the things is I can expect a response from her within the day. And she provided with valuable information that helped me to make my decision. So, that's one of the things as a student that wants to come in, that's one of the things that you can look forward to. You feel like you're supported even before you're part of the program. And that's something that is, I feel like for me personally, that was valuable because it kind of gives me a glimpse of what it's going to be like when I'm actually in the program. So, that was good. And also, Carla also mentioned about, the good mix of online and the 3 face-to-face classes. I felt like that was also important because, when you're doing online classes, when you're taking away from, the traditional classroom elements, so you have this group of people that you're doing classes with, those 3 face-to-face classes that we had to do were so beneficial because we get to meet with the people that we've been, we do discussions and stuff. We get to meet with these people that we've been talking to online forever. And I feel like, for example, my class or my group that I'm going through full-time with, it's a group of friends that we now have that is going to be our friends for a lifetime because we share this experience together, and that was because of those face-to-face classes that we were able to do. We get to, put a name to the face. We get to be in a classroom together. We get to work in groups together. So that was helpful. And I feel like, if you're trying to make the decision to come on, don't be worried about the fact that you're going to get support, because you get more than enough support. Trust me, there's people everywhere to help you out if you have questions. And you also get support from your class as well, because you get to meet people that are doing the same thing that you're doing, going through the same thing that you're going through. And everybody is, well, I know from my group, everybody's willing to help each other. So that's another good thing.
Thank you, Alicia. That's great. I know that some online students may have not been in school for a long time, taken time off for their career, their family, and higher education can be terrifying. So if you've been out of it for a while, so there's a ton of support, Alicia. I'm glad you talked about that today. Okay, Carla, you want to talk about curriculum?
Yeah, so we've already hit on some of this, but 39 credits again. 10 online classes, each has at least one live session, and students and faculty love the live session because, again, you kind of have a little Q&A and you get to know people a little bit better. The 2 immersion courses that we've alluded to they start on Wednesdays and they run through Sundays at noon. So they're very intense. I mean, you'll be exhausted by the end of them, but you earn 3 credits in about 5 days. So it's we try to give you the kind of the biggest bang for your buck as you can. Students typically show up at least to the first one. They're very anxious and nervous, despite my effort to try to, chill everybody out, calm them down. But literally within hours, people start to connect and bond, and they see the benefit immediately. The content of those 2 courses is, a lot of it is based on communication, interpersonal relationships, relationship building, a lot of the kind of things that are very, very hard to teach online. And in healthcare, despite things being more virtual than they used to be, is still a very people-oriented field. So we really believe strongly in these immersion courses, and they're very interactive. I promise you will not fall asleep. We keep you moving and grooving the whole time. You work in groups on case studies, and they're intense, but you learn so much. So at the end of them, everybody's like, this is awesome. So I promise you, you'll be a little nervous. That's normal. So am I, I've been doing them. So, but being nervous isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's yourself. It's your body letting you know you're doing something new. So, but it just stretches you.
Interject a little bit about
please.
On this topic.
So,
the immersion classes, I must tell you, like, I wasn't looking forward to them when I heard about them in the first place. I was like, I'm signing up for online. I want to do full-time online. I don't want to come in. But I must tell you that it was to be honest with you, those 3 classes are some of the best classes that I've had, because you learn so much about yourself. You learn so much about communication and the importance of effectively communicating. And you also, those case studies, when you're doing them or when you're in it, it's not, you don't want to do it because it takes work, and it takes so much work. But I can tell you that it is going to be beneficial in real world. And I have a perfect example where I applied for a fellowship at one of the Rochester Regional Health, and there's a few processes that you have to go through, and one of the process is to do a case study interview. So, we did an initial phone interview. The second set was a case study interview that you had to do. And how they do these case studies is they don't give you the case study beforehand. You don't know what you're getting into. You go to the interview, you sit there, and they tell you the situation, and you have to break it apart, and you have to fix the situation in front of these people. Now, going back to this immersion class where we do so many case studies and you have such limited time to complete it, I feel like this has helped me to be able to do this interview face to face, this case study, because I have been so used to doing case studies or dissecting case studies in a short period of time. And when I'm going through it and I'm thinking about it, I was like, I am so happy that I did these immersion classes and did these case studies and did it how we did it, you know, in a short period of time, because that has made me able to do this interview and do it well. So it's one of the things that, you know, as a student coming in, I want you to think about and want to get from it, because it's not just to do its sake. It's to do it to help you as a professional in the future, in your future career goals. So it's helpful.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Lisa. That's awesome. Yeah, so the case studies are fun. They're written by practicing executives, so they're real life stories, real life, in many cases, real life data that you're using. So I mean, they're real life. So I'll just talk briefly about the final course in the curriculum is supposed to be a faculty-led travel course. We've tried to go to Sweden 2 times, and COVID's gotten in the way, so we've been doing virtual travel, which is you know, largely a lot of Zoom calls. We're doing the best we can to try to facilitate those given the current environment. We're extremely hopeful that maybe hopefully next summer we'll be able to go. That course will be a 5-day in-country experience. We're going to stick with Sweden again because we technically have not been there yet. Once we do Sweden, there's many other countries obviously that we can go to. And we'll expand outside of that. So in addition to the degree, we also have an advanced certificate in healthcare finance. It's a 12 credit hour curriculum. All 4 of the courses are online. 3 of the 4 courses are required for the degree. So you can add the advanced certificate by completing 1 additional course. That course will be offered this spring. So, and then you would walk away from RIT with a degree and an advanced certificate in healthcare finance. So it's kind of a way to add a little extra value. The curriculum is listed on the website, so you can see those. You can read the course descriptions. So I'll let you do that. And I think we've talked about this quite a bit already. Oh, I'm sorry, if you want to advance the slide. We've talked about the immersions and the travel course. There we go. I think, so if we have questions, you know, please let me know. We can leave some more time for that. And the next slide, if you want to hit that, Karen, is just some pictures from prior immersion courses so that you can see that we're not hurting people. They look like they're having fun. So it is a good experience, and I hear that a lot from the students too. So just to get a feel as to the type of students that are in the program, again, most of them are working. About half of the working people have clinical backgrounds, the other half don't. I think it's the best to have a nice mix between the two. I love having a healthy mix of clinical people because healthcare administration is all about facilitating that patient-provider relationship, and we need to keep that in mind at all times. Most of them are, well, we have another group of students that are working, but not necessarily in healthcare, and so they want to apply their skill and expertise to the healthcare environment. So we've had people with project management backgrounds, finance backgrounds, HR, lots of different areas that just want to transfer the skills towards healthcare. And then we have a third group, kind of a mighty group of people that don't have a lot of paid work experience, but they have some incredible life experience, mostly in volunteer areas, and have demonstrated leadership potential. And so we have a small group of them in the program also. So again, you can kind of see this, just the current profile. And these are all averages. So it's, you know, if you are below or above these averages, you know, it's not anything to, you know, freak out about. It's just their averages. But you can get kind of an idea of the average student that comes in. So I think that's it. I just want to leave time for questions, and I'm here, and I know Alicia can give you some great insight into what it's like from her perspective, which is more real than mine. So let's turn it back over, Karen. So I think you had a few more slides.
Yeah, and if you're exploring this field, I'm sure you know that this industry is booming. The healthcare field is just one of the most in demand right now for new jobs in management. Info on these slides is gathered from Burning Glass Technologies and the Bureau of Labor Statistics. As you can see, those with master's degrees in health systems management, there's growth expected by over 20% over the next 10 years. Average salaries are high too. Obviously, this is the national averages, depending on where you live, Rochester area compared to other parts of the country. You have to keep that in mind. But again, just a very hot job market for those in the field or looking to get into the field. The other thing we also want to talk about is the hiring partners in our career services office that can help you get jobs, kind of like the ones that are listed here on the screen in different industries. RIT has a very strong career services office. It's a huge resource for current students, for alumni. It's a lifelong benefit to you that you'll have an advisor to help you, improve your resume, do prep on interview skills, access our jobs database where companies are looking for RIT graduates. They know the applied learning that you're getting, especially in a program like this one, even though it's online, related to things we've talked about with the immersions. It's just so interactive, and the case study work, etc. They really are looking for graduates from this program. So this office can help and move you up the ladder if you're in a field in healthcare and you're looking to gain some more skills and more management experience, or maybe this is a new field for you altogether. You're just looking for a new job, a new career path. And again, 5-10 years from now, you can always reach out to your career services advisor or Carla. I'm sure she'd still be willing to help improve your employment opportunities. We do have career fairs here on campus and interview days where you can meet with potential employers in person. But we can also set those up for you virtually more than anything this year. I think we've come up with really great ways for our students to connect with the job market and get those opportunities in front of them. One other thing I do want to mention when we talk about coming to campus, if you are local, we are hosting an on-campus open house for graduate students for all of our programs. So even though this is an online program, Carla will be available. It's Friday, November 19th. In the morning from 9 to 11, we'll do an overview about RIT, and then you'll be able to meet with Carla, see the facilities, and hear more about the program specifically. So I think that's it. I think we went through most of it. I know I don't see any questions popping up yet, but feel free to put some in the box if anything is on your mind. And Alicia, maybe I can put you on the spot a little bit. I know you said, you're doing your classes full time, so that's a lot. And you have a family, and it is a bit of a juggle. Can you talk a little bit about the demands of the program, how you balance them, how much time maybe you spend per week per class, just to give students an idea of what to expect?
It's I feel like being full-time and not having a full-time job with it allows me the time, but I feel like it's a good balance. It's because I've been able to plan, and that's important. Plan is important because you don't want to take away from your family life, or you don't want to take away from what you have going on, but you also want to give 100% to your education. So what I find that I do, and with proper planning, you're able to do it. So what I find that I'm able to do is I carve out my family time, and then also make sure that I allot, it's like I have a job. So I allot a certain amount of time that I'm like, okay, these hours, or this time of the day, or this is when I'm going to focus on school, or when I'm going to focus on getting stuff done. Now we're doing, for me, it's full time. So I'm doing 2 classes per session, and for 7 weeks. For that 7 weeks, I do, I try to split up my weeks. So I make sure that, okay, say for example, Monday, I'll focus Monday to one particular class, and I'll try to, go through, make sure I have all the stuff done. So to give you a time to say, okay, I have a specific amount of hours, that's kind of, it depends on what is required of you for that week as well, because there's some week when there's like this much work, and then there's some week where you're like, reading a few chapters and responding to a discussion. But on average, I would say, if I had to give it a good number, I would say about 20 hours I would give to my classes, just to make sure that everything is done. Sometimes it's more, trust me. Sometimes, especially like this week, we have finals this week, all the things are due. This week, I'm giving a lot more than I would normally give. But, you're able, it's doable. And then if you have a job, like if you're working full time and you're also doing, it is also doable as well. I just carve out way more time so I can still live, I can still live my life, and it doesn't affect it as much, But if I had a full-time job, I feel like it would also still be doable. It will be difficult because you won't have time to do a lot of things, but it would still be doable if you do proper planning.
Great, thank you. And Carla can talk with you about that too when you go to schedule your classes. Which ones are more demanding, which ones might be a little bit easier, how to not overdo it, how much you're balancing. Something interesting about this online program compared to the others is the 7-week session. So we have like fall 1 and fall 2, spring 1 and spring 2. So you're getting your 3 credits, but it's in a more condensed time frame. So yeah, just again, something to think about. And the program is extremely flexible. And Carla, you can probably talk about this too, but we've had students take a leave, they come back, something happens with work. There's a lot of flexibility there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had more students leaving for either to take care of children, or lately we've had a couple leave to take care of parents. So, and you don't have, there's no right or wrong excuse. It's not an excuse. You just, that's the beauty of the program. If you need to take some time off, you take some time off from it. So,
yeah.
Most students seem to make the commitment and just most of them just kind of want to get done. So they'll just stay focused and, get done in just under 2 years is kind of the average. So, but, when you need to take a break, you need to take a break. If your mind's not in it, then why do it? So you just take a break and then come back when you're ready. So,
yeah.
I don't know if we have a couple more minutes, but it might be fun for Alicia to talk about the career alumni sessions that we have during the immersions, and maybe she could talk briefly about the importance of mentors. So that's been, I know, just because we talk a lot, I know that's been kind of big on her mind lately.
Yeah, that's a good one. So this is because of the immersion courses too. So in the immersion courses, we usually have presenters that come in, and these presenters are people that are in the field. They have positions in the field. So they're like, they're, for example, Rochester Regional Health. We've had a lot of presenters from Rochester Regional Health that are currently working and have on the job information that they're sharing with us. One of the things that I find very beneficial, and I would tell any student that is coming in, is to try to make connections with these people that come in. It is very important. They're there. I can tell you that at the end of every presentation that they've done, they've said to us, if you need help outside of this, reach out. And they give you phone numbers, they give you email, they give you all the information that you can contact them. I will implore you to make sure that you reach out to these people. One of my things right now, I just got a job offer today, and it's because of situations like this. It's because of, I reached out to one of the presenters, and I have 3 mentors right now that are presenters from the program. It is, and they have valuable information to share, and connection is important. Like, you can have the widest knowledge of everything in healthcare, and sometimes you just can't do anything with it because you don't have the right connections. We're getting that opportunity to make these connections when these presenters come in, and they're telling us about their day, they're telling us about the industry, they're telling us everything. make connections. I cannot stress that enough. Like they're there. They want you to talk to them. They want you to reach out. I've reached out. I've had awesome conversations with our presenters outside of classroom. They've directed me into, like where I should be looking into, what I should be doing, where they see me based on, you get what I'm saying? Like so much information. You can't,
Yeah.
it is one of the things I've talked to Carla about it many times. Like you wouldn't know how valuable it is. For example, myself, I've been out of the working world for so long. I've been a stay-at-home mom for many years, and to get back in, it's going to take a while. And I am surprised with the help of these mentors, I was able to get in really, really quick. And I feel like that is so beneficial. So I cannot stress it enough. Make the connections because they're there for you they're there to help. So
Awesome.
Congrats on the job offer. That's really exciting news.
Yeah.
Awesome.
thank you.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Good for you.
And I'm not done. Like I'm still not done with my degree,
Right.
and I got a job offer because of connections.
That's great advice, for sure. Okay, so I don't see any other questions. So I'm thinking we can wrap up, but a lot of times this is just the beginning of the conversation, like we've been saying. So again, please be sure to reach out. You can email me, Carla. I'm sure Alicia would be happy to talk with you as well. She can kind of pay it forward a little bit to all the support that she got through her time here at RIT. So again, feel free to reach out. We are accepting applications for the spring term, starts January 10th. I think, Carla, is the immersion for January a little sooner than that?
Yeah, it starts, God, let me look it up really quick. I
Okay,
think it starts the 5th.
okay,
So it would be January 5th through the 9th. And then you could even start fall 2. That might be too
Yeah, it's-
quick.
that-
So it'd probably be better to stick with spring 1. And you can do the first immersion is scheduled to start January 5th through the 9th. And we have lots of students that start in January than any other time. So
I started in January, so
Did you?
I feel
Yeah,
like it was a
yeah.
perfect time to start.
you're in Rochester. What else are you gonna do,
Right,
right?
start of a new year, start a new
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no deadline to apply. We accept applications right up until the day classes start. It's not often the best way to jump into the program. Definitely talk to us, get that application done earlier rather than later, so we can make that connection and get you all set for your start of classes. And I think that's it. Hope to
Great.
see you all again soon. Thank you for joining us. And we'll have a recording going out probably within the next day or two with a link to the website where you can view the session again. Alicia,
Okay.
congratulations again. Thanks.
Thank
for joining
you.
us. Thanks,
Thank
Carla.
you.
Stay in touch.
Bye.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.